So you just want to talk from a naturalistic, humanistic perspective, then religion is a subset of culture that aims to provide comfort to people, and it provides identity. Like, why should this one aspect of life, never have a political expression? And there's no Platonic, ideal of good politics or good religion. They're just various adaptations to a complicated, painful, and difficult world. Just because America has this ideal that church and state should be separate doesn't mean that that's right for everyone in all circumstances.
You marry the two, and it should be, I think for people in our sphere in general, it should be a matter of personal commitment, and nothing that that goes into politics, because it does ignore a lot of
religion is just being exposed to a particular type of religion that is just personal faith. But religion is something that is lived by human bodies that lust, bodies that hate, bodies that fear, bodies that see threats to its survival, bodies that organize with other bodies in communities. Like, you just can't have religion purely separate from the political and the social and the cultural.
Under a Christian system, you just come in, you say the appropriate words, and you make the appropriate commitments, honestly or dishonestly, and then politically even, you become a sort of de facto citizen of the.
Oh, so which Christian nationalist groups advocate this? I'm not aware of any. All the Christian nationalist groups of which I'm aware want immigration restriction. So Christianity was married to nationalism for hundreds of years, right up until the 19th century. It was also married to a specific sense of people, and Christianity marched hand in hand along with strong racial and national identity up until about the 18th, 19th century. And then the mainstream of Christianity started diverging, moving in more egalitarian and universalist tendencies. But that's the product of a particular time and place. It's not, just some essential, unchanging, eternal essence of Christianity. Sometimes Christianity is a force for racism, sometimes it's not. Sometimes Christianity is a valuable aid for national identity, sometimes it's not. Depends on time and place.
You make the appropriate commitments, honestly or dishonestly, and then politically even, you become a sort of de facto citizen of the new system. There's no reason to exclude anyone or to have any sort of ranking or hierarchy or preference system if the baseline is okay. Do you accept, the Lord X or Y, depending on what your religious system is? So yeah, I think that's a really big blind spot.
Yeah, I think
they're presenting ideas and analyses here and critiques that you've never heard of before. This is amazing stuff.
It's also curious too, is if you look at certain organizations that have been the loudest proponents of immigration, particularly in America, more often than not, they're Christian charities. And I can empathize with the idea of helping, the meek and the poor.
Sometimes Christianity is being a force for immigration restriction and racial and national identity, and sometimes it's been for diluting that and creating a more universalist and egalitarian and non-racial identity. Depends upon time and place, like everything else.
At the expense of what, right? At the expense of the nation, the health of the nation, and the good of general population, our people, so to speak. It's it's a sort of suicidal altruism. And I think above all else, you have to sort of look out for your own before you start worrying about matters of charity and alms and that sort of thing.
Yeah, and that's never occurred to Christians. Right? This is just some blind spot, right? I don't think there are many Christians who regard Christianity as a suicide pact. Right? Most Christians do not engage in their religion with the understanding that it will mean, the end of everything they hold sacred.
And yeah, exactly what you said. It doesn't have all the answers, and particularly when it comes to matters of race and the composition of a nation.
Yeah, because Christians, they've never thought about race. When did you ever hear a Christian talk about race? Christians never thought about the composition of a nation, never occurred to them before, right? That's absolute nonsense. Christianity went hand in hand for hundreds and hundreds of years with strong racial and national identity. Right? These guys have no sense of historicism.